go. Okay guys, we are inside the Alfa Romeo Stelvio Veloce 2024. Now, if you haven't checked out my full tour and review, definitely go check out that video. But for now, I'm going to take you guys on a quick tour of the exterior. This one here is finished in Alfa Rosso paint. Really gorgeous color. It is an option. And I really like this facelift. It's a very subtle facelift. We just really had these updated headlights and a little bit of an updated front bumper situation down there. It looks very nice. Full LED matrix lights now. I don't believe that matrix technology is activated in the US, but you do have it there. I always have loved the Stelvio. Love these 21-inch wheels. You have Continental rubber on here. A little bit of a chunkier tread for this winter-ish weather I guess we have right now. Stelvio is just a great looking car, I think. It really stands out from the class for like an X3, a GLC. It's a pretty crowded competition. And let's go take this thing on a drive, because the Stelvio is a fantastic driving SUV. Even in this form without the quadrifoglio model. So let's hop in. Seatbelt on. And what do we have here? So of course we have the 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine up front. We have our 8-speed ZF gearbox here. A few different drive modes as well. A little bit chilly today. And gorgeous interior, gorgeous steering wheel, paddle shifters as well. And let's head off because this thing is a blast to drive. Popping it into gear is pretty simple. A little lever, and the backup camera is unfortunately terrible. It's a really low quality, really low resolution, and it's only in just that one camera. No 360 camera on this one. We do have parking sensors, but that is a really disappointing looking backup camera. I'm sorry, Alfa Romeo. Really quick steering rack here. And of course we have 3 different drive modes. We have advanced efficiency, natural, and dynamic. Dynamic is gonna get a little sporty for you. Now this one does not have the adaptive dampers. That is going to have to be something you're going to need to get on the quadrifoglio or the, I believe it's the Competizione now, or a Strema model. That's where you can get those adaptive dampers. But regardless, I don't think it really needs it. The whole point of the Stelvio is to kind of create the Giulia experience with that fantastic Giorgio architecture, fantastic suspension, handling, chassis dynamics in a vehicle that just has a little bit more space. And that's why the Stelvio isn't very high off the ground. It's still pretty low to the ground. And that's all to keep the center of gravity as low as possible and make sure handling is always good. And it has a fantastic sound for this engine. This 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder has been in the Stelvio and Giulia. They did really launch in the Stelvio and Giulia for the FCA/Stellantis group way back when they came out, and it's still going on strong. It's a pretty tried and true engine, I think, at this point. Generally pretty reliable too nowadays. We have a DBX over there and a GLE 63S. Really nice cars out today. You can see that auto stop start has just activated now. You can always turn that off from this button over here if you don't want that. Now, interesting enough, there is no way to turn off traction control in the Stelvio, which is very unusual. You can on the quadrifoglio model in race mode, but these regular ones you cannot turn off the traction control. Though the Stelvio itself, it's pretty fun generally. You have a rear-wheel drive bias on all times. You could even check that information here in your infotainment system if you go over to your performance pages. I have a whole bunch of fun information here, all-wheel drive, rear-wheel drive, so you can kind of see what's happening at all times. Usually off launches, so the traction will be sent to the front wheels, but generally it's all rear-wheel drive for efficiency on like the highway or just cruising, which is really nice. You also have some other fun pages here, such as a boost gauge, and you can see your horsepower and torque, I believe. Pretty cool fun gauges there. And we'll hop out onto the highway now. Hop into manual mode. And the Stelvio's chassis, steering, ZF gearbox, it creates a fantastic experience altogether, especially in dynamic mode. You can see those shifts are just a little bit more aggressive there. And these paddle shifters are such a fantastic way to be connected with the vehicle. They're huge, aluminum, they feel fantastic, they shift responsibly and quickly in accordance with the transmission and all the tuning. And that's really the highlight of one of my favorite parts of the Stelvio, is just this driving experience. Nothing really drives like it. X3s drive great, GLCs are more comfortable, a little bit twitchy sometimes. You have a whole bunch of other competitors as well. GV70 is really a fantastic offering now, but the Stelvio still stands out with this driving dynamics. We have a double wishbone suspension up front, multi-link suspension out back. It's Giorgio architecture, very stiff, good weight distribution, carbon fiber drive shaft in the center to help reduce weight. They've done a lot of things here, and it's been out for a while now, and it still has that core great driving dynamics. And this one does have a limited slip rear differential out back to help better distribute that power as well. Now that we're on the highway, here it's generally very quiet in here as well, which I love. And this thing is fantastic in a straight line, but I really love to throw this thing around corners way more than just driving this straight on the highway. And another weird thing on the highway is that for around $60,000 as this one is coming in, you don't have a complete total full suite of driver systems. I mean, generally, yes, you do. You have your radar, cruise control, you have your blind spot, you have your emergency braking and all that stuff, but it doesn't have any sort of like full steering assist. It really just has lane keep assist, so you have to turn that on and off with this little switch over here. You can see it's on here, and it's really just going to kind of bump you and give you a warning. I would like to see the steering assist function, which I believe the Tonale had available on this vehicle. I think the button should be here for it too. That would be nice to see them throw in here. Nonetheless though, the radar cruise is pretty easy. You just pop this button, set your speed, and you're on. You can change your following distance with these 3 buttons. See, it's alerting us that we're getting close to the left lane there with a little yellow indicator. There's an auto warning you could turn on, but I don't have that one turned on. And on the highway, it is pretty comfortable of a cruiser. It doesn't get the best fuel economy. You might want to pop it into advanced efficiency mode here. That's going to actually reduce your engine torque capability, so you're going to have to really put your foot really far on the pedal to kind of get off going in advanced efficiency mode. It's really kind of a cruising mode to try to achieve the best fuel economy you possibly can. Though generally fuel economy in here isn't spectacular. On a daily basis, you're going to see around the mid-20s, low mid-20s, especially in city driving. You see here, we're doing 22.6 mpg live right now, just cruising on the highway. I believe it's on the higher end rated on the highway for around 28, 29 mpg, which isn't too bad for an all-wheel drive model, though some other competitors, German competitors, will be getting some better fuel efficiency with their mild hybrid systems and the such. Easy to cancel our radar cruise as well. Little tire squeal from the rear tires there going around corners. This thing is just so well planted, and it holds a corner just fantastic for an SUV type vehicle. And it's just a testament to the Alfa Romeo's engineering and dynamics team, which a lot of them came from Ferrari, so they kind of know what they're doing. This thing is just fun to poon around all the time though. And this is the fun part with the Stelvio. You really will enjoy the driving experience in this thing because it's just a fun day-to-day daily vehicle, and it's practical too. You can fit 4 or 5 people in here. The trunk isn't the biggest thing on the planet, but you can still shove some stuff in there. And you still get that same fantastic experience that you're going to get in like the Giulia in just a little bit more of a practical shape. And of course, if you want the Quadrifoglio with all that extra power, crazy acceleration and handling performance, that's also on offer as well. They're pretty good deal used as well, even if you don't want to spend the $80, $90, $100,000 that they cost new. Just check, the steering itself is just so twitchy, it's crazy. And it rewards you when you drive it more aggressively. You get an enjoyment out of it. You feel all the engineering, all that power is coming to work, and you can just feel it through your seat, through your hands on the steering wheel. It's just a fantastic experience that I just can't really get in other vehicles. And if there really are any complaints in here, it's gonna have to be with the technology. They have fixed pretty much everything else. The interior build quality is fantastic, really top notch. It feels like it's on the level with the Germans in here. There's no like cheap plastics or anything. This is all metal, great leathers and everything. But this screen, unfortunately, is just old. There's no other way to put it. It's just an old screen. Let's see if we can get a little bit of a launch here. I'm gonna go into not manual mode. Isn't the quickest thing to 60 on the planet, a mid 5-second-ish range. But it definitely gets you up to go and speeding. So you have 280 horsepower, like I said, 306 pound-feet of torque. Decent amount of power, very potent actually for this segment, which is really nice. Otherwise, I would like to see if they were able to put in like a mid-spec model or something, which they have not been able to do, and they never have done that, unfortunately. I really wish Alfa Romeo kind of made some kind of like M Performance model or quadrifoglio light to kind of blend that gap there. I almost found that this engine and this whole powertrain likes to be driven more in manual mode than in automatic mode, which is just crazy to think. It gives you a much more rewarding and confident and connected driver experience. As you can see here, we have Apple CarPlay as well. That works fantastically. No issues really there. The only issue with the Apple CarPlay is that it's wired. At the end of the day, it's not the biggest thing. I just shove my phone in here and don't worry about it, but I wish they were able to put a wireless CarPlay system. It's 2024, it's a 2024 model year. This is a sort of a facelift, and it still doesn't have wireless CarPlay. Meanwhile, the cheaper Tonale does. That's just due to this head unit being an older system. They weren't able to change it for this one because they would have to do the whole dash all over again. They'd have to re-crash test the car because they would have to change structure and stuff. It would be too much, unfortunately, for Alfa Romeo. They just don't have, I believe, the money, I think the liquidity to kind of burn on this vehicle, which we know, unfortunately, will be coming to an end within the next 2 to 3 years, and it will switch over to a new architecture for the future Giulia and Stelvio, and they will be, as far as we're concerned, I think electrified, maybe full electric only. So that's a little bit sad that this could be the last gas Stelvio, the first and ever last gas Stelvio lineup. I wish they would have done a new generation with the ICE engines or combustion engines, because I think this whole platform has a lot of potential in it still. Yeah, guys, I just have been having such a blast with the Stelvio over the past week. Obviously, I wish Alfa Romeo dropped over one of the quadrifoglio models to test out. Hopefully, we can get one of those on the channel again in the near future. But it's sad that this car is eventually going to be going away soon and going the way of the EV or the electrification path, because it's just a fantastic, unique little SUV from Italy, and it's a great testament of kind of like the modern interpretation of what Alfa Romeo is capable of doing. And truly, I just keep wanting to drive it and drive it and drive it. And every time I get into it and drive it, I find something more to like about this just driving experience, which is wonderful. Even just today, I found a little bit more about driving this car. That's just so much fun. I really like that enjoyable, engaging experience with a new vehicle these days. And as always, guys, thank you for joining me on this full tour and review of the 2024 Stelvio Veloce with these minor little updates. And stay tuned for more coming on Allcarnews. I am going to shut up now and just drive, because that is what this thing is so much fun at.